Good morning, my name is Barry James. I'm the Chief Enterprise Architect for Sandvik Mining and Rock Solutions. I'll just check that you can all hear me, so if you could, I'm grateful if somebody could just put something in the chat. That's great. I'll leave some time for questions at the end, so if you have questions, then please post them in the chat as we go through. This morning, I'd like to speak to you about how we developed our digital platform strategy. And to start with the why, and to come from a business context. So I work for a global decentralized organization. Actually, agility is a real key thing to us. So Barry, agility is surely a good thing. Yes, it is. It lets us adapt to our different customers' needs, to different market conditions in a very quick and agile way, which in the current climate has been really important for us. So what's the downside? Well, one of the challenges is that when things are decentralized, you push the decision making down the organization. So to give you some idea of the consequences and what that means. So we have 8 different divisions working across 120 countries. And even within those 8 divisions, each division has 3 or 4 different business units. You can imagine the number of decision makers, it grows exponentially as we go down the organization. You get into the hundreds very quickly. But that's a good thing, it gives you agility. Yes, it does, but it also leads to fragmentation. You just think of your organization and the types of decisions you make as enterprise architects, if those decisions are made by hundreds of people across the organization. It's speed, but you get fragmentation. On the flip side of this, if you look at the opposite side of the screen, we have this decentralized organization, but we have a common set of customers, the large mining houses, who actually want a common customer experience. And one of our strengths is actually the integrated offering. It's not just that we sell rock tools, it's we sell the tools, the equipment, the digital services, the people, and this is increasingly become more important and more digitalized to our customers. So how do we balance these two things? The need for speed and agility, but also they need to have a common customer experience and to integrate this data and these offerings. And this is our challenge. So we believe that actually the basic foundation for this is our digital platform strategy. What do we want to achieve from this? Well, we believe we need a seamless flow of data across our organization and to our customers. So really be seamless about the way we interact with our customers all the way through our value stream so we can deliver good service. We need a unified customer experience. We're serving those same group of customers, that's what they expect. We obviously want to streamline and get efficiency with automation like many organizations, but we also need to reduce our risk levels in some areas. So what we're looking for is faster change, more cost-effective change, but still keeping the agility and finding these synergies. One of the key areas that we struggle today with this issue of fragmentation is actually building a critical mass of skills. We have hundreds of different applications, and you can imagine trying to support that across an IT organization. It's very hard to build a critical mass. Then you look from the business side, the number of systems a business needs to use to interact daily and to get information, they also struggle with a critical mass of skills. So our platform strategy has 3 basic foundations. Commonality. Let's be clear where we need to do things together in a common way, even though we have a decentralized organization. Maximize value. So where we should find efficiency from doing things together, let's do that. But on the flip side, we need to balance that of still securing competitive advantage for those 8 divisions. And then finally, it's about clear governance. Actually, having a clear accountability for these different areas and actually how we serve them across our value stream. So this is what we've set out to do. How do we do this and what's it achieving? So really, it's about providing flexibility for our divisions, for their decentralized decision making so they can be agile, but also simplifying where we can to get those synergies and to support our customers in the best way. So we looked at other organizations, we spoke to analysts, and we looked at actually how do other decentralized organizations do this? What do their strategies look like? And it became clear. I think the first thing was our platform strategy, this common strategy across these different business units and division, it's light. The bulk of the work and decision making is done by the divisions, but you still need this frame so you can be clear, you know, where you need to be distinct. So actually, where those capabilities are distinct, and you can secure competitive advantage, but be clear where you're core or shared, where we do things together, where we share processes, we share technology, and we need to collaborate during change. But also, we always need to keep the customer in mind. So thinking through those value chains from the customer through the organization. And ultimately having a small number of guiding principles. We have 5 guiding principles that we use to guide our decision making as we move forward. So one of the key things was to be clear about these areas. Where we core, we do things in a common way across the divisions. So we see value in doing things together. Where are we distinct? We want the flexibility and agility to give us competitive advantages. And actually, what areas do we share? You can guess from the organization, it's not simple straight lines. We have shared sites, we have shared resources, we have shared sales areas, we share people, but also we're distinct in some areas as well. So this can be a complicated picture. The starting point was actually what's the ambition of our divisions. So this may not be new to many of you, this pace layering model, but actually it was an important exercise that we did with our divisions, again, starting from business capabilities. So actually taking this business first approach and then understanding what the impact is on technology and process. So what we sat down with them, we looked at their business strategies, and we spoke to them and said, actually, what capabilities do you need to be differentiating? So where do you need the flexibility and speed? But actually, so where do you need to be world class? You need to be the bleeding edge and the best that we can possibly be, because that's what differentiates us in the market. And where do you need to be non-differentiating? It's not a bad thing, but where are we good enough? We meet the industry standard. And actually, when you do this with a group of business stakeholders, we do this with a division management team. The key thing is the conversation you have when you pull them together and you get them to explain why, and then you get them to put that in a customer context. But this was an important piece of work, understanding these business capabilities, and the ambition from the divisions was a key input to understand where we should be core and distinct when we look at this from a Sandvik mining perspective, from our business area perspective across those 8 different divisions. So what was best for us? And I have to say, this is different for every business. So what I've described to you so far, the first step is to really understand your business and actually how they operate and what they want to achieve. So I have a sister business area that's quite different to ours, and they will select a different model here. But actually, when we looked at Sandvik Mining and we see there's areas where we need to be core, we need to do things together to serve our customers, and there's areas where we need to be distinct, then actually the operating model was the best approach. But let's look at the others. You know, we had some choices. We could do nothing. So we could keep the fragmentation of the landscape, the processes, and the information and the way we work today. That clearly wasn't going to get us to where we wanted to be and didn't meet our business ambition level. We could just do some simple consolidation. And actually that's part of the picture, because we have a lot of these platforms in place already, but we have areas where we don't and had some gaps. So we knew we needed to introduce some new pieces too. We could just look at this from a business unit perspective, just in these verticals. But as you can see, just having consolidated finance is not good enough. We need an integrated offering. We need a common customer experience. We need to go further. But if you go to the extreme, having a single platform with a single set of processes and a single set of technology, that did not provide us with the agility that we need and the flexibility for our divisions. So when we look at our operating model, we want to maximize the results that we can get from a decentralized organization. We want clear decision making, but we still want to leverage these synergies. And actually, we still want a uniform customer experience. This operating platform model was the best approach for us. Have some things at core from a business and from a technology perspective, but then the flexibility for our divisions to actually have distinct areas where they can gain competitive advantage. Makes sense and seems simple at this level, but then you ask yourself, so what are these core areas? What are these distinct areas? How are we going to govern them? How are we going to drive things forward? It's nice theory, but then how do we put this into practice? And these were the questions that we asked ourselves as well. So how do we get there? I think a key thing for us is this was bottom up. We've been working for a number of years with some of our divisions to actually do their target architecture. So starting from their strategic objectives, their 3-year plan, to understand what capabilities we need to improve and where are the gaps, where we need to secure competitive advantage again, and actually where's the best place to share things. And doing that, looking across the value stream, from our customers all the way through the supply chain and into R&D. We were doing this with 3 divisions. Barry said you had 8. Yeah, we do. And I think for me, that was an important lesson as well. It's very hard to get everybody at the same place at the same time. Each division has their own business strategy, their own leadership teams. Those things change and move through time. And their focus and changes move through time. And so we take the approach that we do the target architecture, see when it's the right time for the business. So we have a readiness checklist to make sure that what we do is actually used and delivers value. So we started with 3, and then we extrapolated that to the 8. So what our platform strategy is really a consolidation of this target architecture we've done at a division level. So it gives us a consolidated view of where we should be core, shared, or distinct from a business and a technology perspective. And then just as importantly, actually some recommendations. Because what's so important is the strategy or target architecture needs to be actionable. You need to be able to take actions on it. It can't just be a set of pictures. So these are the recommendations that we've been moving forwards and that we've been progressing. It's not all technology choices. Some of that is about adopting agile methodologies in some areas. Some of that is actually about optimizing what we have and actually expanding and growing on that. But there are some technology changes too. A perception that we had at the start was, but you're going to centralize more things. But actually, when we did this consolidated view, we realized in some areas we were actually too centralized. We need to make things more distinct and more clearer. So again, we're trying to clarify those boundaries so we can actually be clear how we run our business, how we make decisions, and actually how we can ultimately deliver value to our customers. But the bottom-up approach was key, and key to get engagement with the stakeholders. You can imagine when we think about the platform strategy, for me, just the anchoring alone was over 100 different stakeholders, just because of the nature of our decentralized organization. So when we do our target architecture with the divisions, it's about creating concrete, tangible business outcomes. The sponsorship is so important. So for us, the sponsorship is the highest level in that the management team in the division. We have a systematic, repeatable approach. That's the value that we bring to the business. But this is business owned. This is business stakeholders making decisions with us. It's bottom up. So actually we're asking, what's the value of this, and quantifying that in SEC. So when we get to the end, it's not just a subjective where we should drive change, but also we understand the benefits and values. That could be from increased sales, reduced net working capital, increased efficiency, but actually we have something that we understand why we're making those changes. And the key thing is the active participation. I think as a bunch of enterprise architects, one of our key jobs is to bring people together to give them that common view. And for me, that's probably the most enjoyable part of the job. But the way we facilitate and run the sessions with different stakeholders and bring them together is a really key part of this. So back to our platform strategy, what does it look like? So a few slides at a high level. So as I said, this is a consolidation of that work we've done with the divisions. What you see here is the pieces in blue are what we call core. So this is where all divisions are using the same solution, the same process, and we need to collaborate during change. We see value in doing these things together. The areas which are in grey are areas which are distinct, where we drive change independently. So we have independent platforms, if you want, where we're driving change there. It could be the same technology, but we're driving change independently. So why are some of these areas blue and some are grey? I think it's worth saying also we have two go-to-market models. Predominantly is actually direct sales, where we go through our sales areas across those 120 countries. But we have a smaller part of our business, which is global direct. It was smaller, but it was still really important for one of our divisions. So we have to consider the whole business and actually all our go-to-market channels here. So why is sales and marketing core? Why do we collaborate there? It's fairly obvious. It's back to that customer experience again. So we can, and back to the fact we want to bundle these different offerings from these different divisions. The customer is not just looking to buy a drill or a rock tool or a part. The customer is looking to improve their productivity. And that's by putting these together, often with digital services and automation. That's the way they want to purchase from us and actually see our offering. So that's why our sales and marketing capabilities, they're core. We do them in a common way with common technology. We have a shared aftermarket logistics network. So even though we have 8 divisions with different products, we have one inventory network that's really delivering the parts and tools that we need towards our customers. We see value in doing those things together. If I look at R&D, we want to share technology. We want an integrated offering across those different divisions and across those different product lines. So this is where we're sharing things like, and we're sharing PLM, we're sharing engineering data, and we're sharing knowledge with our people. So actually we can leverage technology across those different divisions. And then maybe an obvious one is sourcing. We have a global scale, so the contracts with our suppliers, we want to do at a business area level across those different divisions, even though the way you purchase, that's distinct. That's driven locally by each part of the business. So there's always a blend here. I think for me, one of the pieces which is often forgotten, but is really important, is this enabling piece at the bottom, especially the information piece. So we have a platform that's looking at master data and the way we manage our master data. It's managing our data warehouse. We can do consolidated reporting where we can do it. And that's where the integration and API services, which actually lets us connect to these different platforms and lets the information flow in a more seamless way. So very quickly, we have, I think a key thing here is that it's not just technology. We've aligned our business processes and business process governance. We've aligned our solutions and the governance and decision making, and actually we've aligned our IT delivery. So for us, sales and marketing is one platform. It's the customer facing piece. It's core because we want to face our customers. We're clear what capabilities are core, what things we want to do together. So when we design processes around these capabilities, they're going to be the same. When we govern them, they're going to be the same. And actually, what IT solutions we're going to consolidate on. So moving from this piecemeal approach of adding new solutions to actually maximizing the use of those IT solutions to support those core capabilities. This looks really simple when you look at it on a PowerPoint, but then you think of the organizational change. There's changes in governance, there's changes in competence, there's new roles, there's investments. This is the foundation for us for the change that we're making to actually digitalize our business. There's some preconditions. We need those division strategies as inputs, and we're still working on completing those now. And as we do, we iterate this platform strategy. We need the approval for this platform strategy at the highest level in the organization and our business area management team. A strategy and architecture, if it's not followed and the business decision making doesn't go with it, it's just PowerPoint. So we needed the communication, the anchoring, but also the formal governance of actually this is used and this is the plan that we follow. And then ultimately we need to be able to execute on this. And part of that execution is actually that the demand that we have from the divisions with the strategies, we can actually deliver that in our IT organization. So we actually have the competence and we can build a critical mass around those core solutions and those core capabilities. And that's an ongoing change we have as well. So finally, what did we agree? So this was what we agreed in May of this year. We agreed on the core capabilities. We agreed that we're going to maximize the use of these solutions. And we agreed that with the cross-division business councils that we have will approve changes. And actually, they will own the strategy for those different platforms and areas. And then ultimately, we need to iterate this. So what does this give us? Increased value of the investments we make. We have many of these platforms already in place. We just need to use them more and leverage them more and connect them more. We get more scale where we need it because we can, and because we're using these common solutions and common processes, but also we get the flexibility in other areas. We get that balance between agility and synergies and customer experience. We get the quicker execution that we desire. And actually, we can improve our delivery. We can improve our IT delivery because we can focus the complex development and plan. We have a clearer vision of where we're going to be and then can understand what skills we're going to need to get there.